Did you know over 85% of people feel invisible in their jobs or creative fields? It's like screaming into a void. What if you could become the one person everyone remembers? Today, I'm giving you that superpower. Standing out isn't optional anymore. It's the only way to win. I've cracked the code and I'm about to hand you 4 principles that will change how the world sees you. Let's dive in. Why is it so hard to stand out? Why do so many talented, hard-working people feel like they're invisible, lost in a sea of faces, their voices drowned out by the noise? In a world that's more connected than ever, it's never been easier to share your ideas, your work, your passion. But paradoxically, it's also never been harder to get noticed. The answer: the great blur. Every day, billions of posts, videos, and ideas flood the internet and our lives. It's like standing in the middle of a blizzard. Everything starts to look the same, and it's almost impossible to pick out a single snowflake. Millions are doing exactly what you're doing. The market is oversaturated. No matter your field, business, art, content creation, or even your day job, there are countless others with similar skills, similar dreams, and similar strategies. The competition is global, relentless, and growing every day. Everyone's shouting, but it all becomes background noise. Copy-paste syndrome is everywhere. People see what works and try to replicate it, hoping for the same results. But when everyone copies, nothing stands out. The world is full of echoes, but very few original voices. People mimic success, but the world doesn't need another Mr. Beast or PewDiePie. It needs you. The temptation to follow the blueprint of those who've made it big is strong, but true impact comes from authenticity, not imitation. Your unique perspective is your greatest asset. If your skills and ideas are identical to everyone else's, you disappear. You become just another face in the crowd, another name on a list, another voice lost in the static. The world forgets those who blend in. Fear is the dream killer. It whispers that being different is dangerous, that standing out is risky. It convinces you to shrink, to hide, to play small. Most people are terrified of being different, so they play it safe and stay invisible. They trade their dreams for comfort, their uniqueness for acceptance. But safety is an illusion, because invisibility is the real risk. Society trains us to fit in, but cogs in a machine are replaceable. We're taught to follow the rules, to color inside the lines, to not make waves. But the people who change the world are the ones who refuse to be just another cog. The illusion of overnight success makes people impatient. We see the highlight reels, the viral moments, and we think it should happen instantly. But what we don't see are the years of effort, the failures, the persistence behind every overnight success. They quit before they see results. They give up just before the breakthrough, never realizing how close they were to being seen, to making an impact. Most settle for good enough, but that's the enemy of unforgettable. Good enough is safe, but it's also forgettable. The world remembers those who dare to be remarkable. Without a strong brand or a clear audience, you're just another face in the crowd. If you don't define who you are and who you serve, the world will define it for you, and you'll be lost in the shuffle. Trying to please everyone means you excite no one. When you water down your message to appeal to all, you lose the spark that makes you memorable. Burnout is real. Standing out takes relentless passion and a powerful why. It's not easy. It demands energy, resilience, and a deep sense of purpose to keep going when the world seems indifferent. So, why do 99% stay invisible? Oversaturation, copying, fear, conformity, impatience, mediocrity, no brand, no audience focus, and burnout. It's a perfect storm that keeps most people stuck, unseen, and unheard. But you're here, which means you're ready to be the 1%. You're ready to break free from the blur, to claim your space, and to make your mark. In the next chapter, I'll give you your first weapon to win this war. Get ready to step out of the shadows and into the spotlight, because your journey to becoming unforgettable starts now. Principle 1. The 100x principle. This is the mindset that separates the truly extraordinary from the merely good. It's the difference between being noticed and being unforgettable, between blending in and standing out so much that people can't help but talk about you. The 100x principle is about thinking on a scale that feels almost impossible and then making it your new normal. Most people, whether in business, sports, or creative fields, aim to be just 10% better than their competition. They tweak, they optimize, they make small improvements. But here's the truth. 10% better is invisible. It's incremental. It's safe. And in a world overflowing with noise, safe is the fastest way to be ignored. You need to be 100 times better. Not just a little better, but so much better that you redefine what's possible in your space. Imagine the difference between a paper airplane and a rocket ship. That's the leap we're talking about. And here's the secret. It's not about being 100 times more talented or working 100 times harder. It's about finding one thing in your field, one lever, one idea, one action, and amplifying it to an insane degree. It's about taking what everyone else does and pushing it so far that it becomes legendary. For example, instead of running a $50 giveaway like everyone else, I gave away $10,000. Then I pushed it to $100,000. Then I gave away a private island. Each time, the scale was so outrageous that it became impossible to ignore. People didn't just notice, they talked, they shared, they remembered. That's the power of 100x. But let's be clear, this isn't just about money or flashy stunts. The 100x principle is about impact. It's about doing something so bold, so different, that it changes the game for everyone around you. It could be the scale of your generosity, the depth of your expertise, or the creativity of your approach. If you're a chef, don't just make a great burger. Make a burger so massive it takes 4 people to carry it to the table. Suddenly, you're not just another restaurant, you're a destination. You're a story people want to tell. If you're a fitness instructor, don't just offer a 30-day challenge. Go for a 365-day transformation. Imagine the community, the loyalty, the buzz you'd create by committing to something that big. People crave boldness. They want to be part of something epic. Start by finding the standard in your field. What's the norm? What's the average? Then ask yourself, what would it look like to multiply that by 100? What would it take to set a new bar so high that it makes the old one irrelevant? When you operate at this level, you don't just compete, you dominate. You become the benchmark, you create a category of one, where the only real competition is yourself. Of course, this kind of leap takes obsession. It takes relentless effort, late nights, early mornings, and a willingness to be misunderstood. Most people will think you're crazy. That's a good sign. It means you're on the right track. Identify your field's core metric, whether it's size, speed, quality, or something else entirely. Then, set your sights on shattering the current record. Don't just aim to beat it, aim to obliterate it, so that your achievement becomes the new legend. Take time to brainstorm your 100x idea. Write down the wildest, most ambitious concepts you can imagine. If your idea doesn't make you a little nervous, if it doesn't seem almost impossible, it's not big enough yet. The right idea should excite you and terrify you at the same time. Once you have your 100x vision, reverse engineer the plan. Break the impossible down into actionable steps. What's the first move? What resources do you need? Who can help you? Every huge achievement starts with a single bold step. The 100x principle is a filter. It weeds out the unserious, the uncommitted, and the unimaginative. It's a commitment to being so epic, so magnetic, that you create your own gravity, drawing people, opportunities, and attention to you effortlessly. Here's your homework. Find your 100x. Don't move on until you have an idea that both excites and terrifies you. Write it down, sit with it, let it challenge you. This is the first step to becoming truly unforgettable. Stop thinking 10% better. Start thinking 100x more memorable. The world doesn't need more of the same. It needs your boldest, wildest, most audacious ideas brought to life. Ready for the next level? Principle 2. Weaponized empathy. Big ideas are useless if they don't connect emotionally. You need to know your audience's feelings, excitement, awe, belonging. Study people, read comments, gather emotional data, layer emotion onto your 100x idea. The spectacle grabs attention, but emotion makes people care. Now, Principle 3. The feedback loop. Treat your work like a science experiment. Post, analyze, learn. Don't just look at views. Study retention graphs, click-through rates, comments. Your analytics dashboard is a treasure map, not a report card. Every dip in retention is a lesson. Listen and improve. Collect feedback systematically. Create, measure, learn, repeat. Detach your ego. The video isn't you, it's a product to improve. Combine empathy and feedback. Empathy sparks creativity. Feedback refines it. All empathy and no data. Passion projects no one watches. All data and no empathy? Robotic content no one cares about. Your mission: identify the core emotion for your 100x idea. After posting, spend an hour analyzing performance and write down 3 lessons. Do this, and you'll lap everyone who's just creating and hoping. If you could only choose one principle to transform your content, let it be this: the first-second obsession. This is the single most powerful shift you can make, and it works instantly. It's not about fancy equipment, expensive ads, or even having the best ideas. It's about what you do in the very first second. That's the moment that decides everything. The first second is everything. The thumbnail, the title, the opening line. Before anyone even hears your message, they see your packaging. That's your first impression, and it's the only one that matters. If you don't grab attention immediately, your content is invisible, no matter how good it is. Most creators neglect this crucial moment. They pour their energy into the middle and end, but the truth is, if you lose people in the first second, nothing else matters. The best story, the most valuable advice, the funniest joke. It all gets skipped if you don't win attention right away. Your first second is a promise to your audience. It's a handshake, a contract, a signal that says, this is worth your time. If that promise is weak, vague, or confusing, you've already lost. People move on in a heartbeat. That's why I obsess over this. My team and I brainstorm dozens, sometimes hundreds of titles and thumbnails for every single video. We debate, we test, we even argue, all to make sure that first second is irresistible. We treat the packaging as important as the content itself. Think about it. You wouldn't give someone a gift in a trash bag. The wrapping matters. The same goes for your videos, your posts, your emails, whatever you create. Here's a real story. A friend of mine made incredible videos. The editing was sharp, the ideas were fresh, the value was off the charts, but his views were terrible. Why? Weak thumbnails and forgettable titles? People never even gave his content a chance. We fixed just that, nothing else. We reworked his thumbnails and titles, and suddenly his views skyrocketed. The same videos, the same content, but a completely different result. That's the power of the first second. You don't need a bigger budget or a huge team. You just need to shift your focus. Put your energy where it matters most, right at the start. Spend at least half your creation time on the first second, on your title, your thumbnail, your opening line. Study what works. Look at the videos you click on. What made you stop scrolling? What made you curious? Analyze trending thumbnails and titles. Notice the patterns, the colors, the faces, the words that pop. There's a science to it, and you can learn it. Build a swipe file for inspiration. Save the best thumbnails and titles you see. Test your ideas against them. Don't just guess. Experiment and see what actually works. Ask friends which thumbnail they'd actually click. Get honest feedback. Sometimes what you think is clear or exciting isn't obvious to others. Use their reactions to refine your approach. In a world of infinite scroll, you have a split second to win attention. People are bombarded with choices. If you don't stand out instantly, you disappear into the noise. Ignore this, and your masterpiece stays locked in a vault. No one will ever see the brilliance you work so hard to create. The first-second obsession is the key that unlocks the door. It's the difference between being overlooked and being unforgettable. On your next project, spend an uncomfortable amount of time on your title, thumbnail, and opening. Push yourself to go further than you think you need to. That's where the magic happens. Test, refine, and watch what happens. Track your results. Notice how small changes in the first second can lead to massive differences in engagement. If you commit to this one principle, you'll see a change, starting today. The first second is your superpower. Use it, and everything changes. That's a wrap. We covered 4 principles to make you unforgettable. 100x principle, weaponized empathy, the feedback loop, and the first-second obsession. These aren't just tips. They're the blueprint I use to build everything. If you commit, you won't just stand out, you'll become the standard. Which principle hit you hardest? Drop a comment below. Want to see the first-second obsession in action? Check out the next video. Now go be unforgettable. Let me know if you need further tightening or adjustments.